Hey there, how's it going? In the last devlog, we went over adding level gimmicks and sound, all in prep for the ambitious Indies game night set up by my buddy Max. Well, a week later, and I still couldn't be happier with how the event went. Some backstory on the event. Max has wanted to do a meetup that was basically a large playtest for a while now. He also knows the guys that run the Ambitious Ales Brewery in Long Beach, and worked out a night where we could set up, have people come for some drinks, and play some games made by locals. I'm not gonna lie, I figured a small amount of people would show up, but it would mostly be our group just hanging out and playing each other's games, which would have been a great time, but in reality, I was blown away by the turnout. But I'm jumping ahead. If you're an indie dev and haven't had the opportunity to live demo your game, it's exciting and terrifying at the same time. And if you're able to, I highly suggest it. Online feedback just isn't the same as watching players play your game in real time, but it does come with a lot more to think about than just the game. First thing is to make sure you have a build of your game that's ready to play. I got that ready the night before, so check there. You will need a way to run and display your game. I use a laptop, as well as the TV I use as my third monitor. For my game, I need a controller for each player. I usually borrow 2 PS4 controllers, and then use 2 that I have, but my weekend ended up being so hectic that I forgot to do this, which meant I had to have a bit of a hodgepodge of controllers. 2 PS4s, 1 Super Nintendo style USB, and an Xbox 360. This is basically my testing setup, with the exception that I replace 1 PS4 controller with the keyboard. I really don't recommend this. It's much harder to tell new players the controls when you have to say, if you have the PS4 controller, jump is X. If you have the Xbox controller, it's A, and so on. I have demoed in the past with all the same controllers, and this experience really showed me that that was the right way to go. So controllers check, just not ideal. If you are demoing at an event, always assume you will need your own cables. HDMI, power cables, and USB hubs are a given, but I always bring at least 1 power strip and an extension cord. Even if you don't need them, you can share them with other devs that might. And painter's tape. Having tape that will not leave a mark is always helpful. Okay, with everything packed up, it's time to head out. I arrived around 4 p.m., so there was still an hour before the actual start. We all set up as the other devs arrived and started hanging out. More devs arrived with friends, more hanging out, more playing games. People started showing up that I didn't know, and they started playing games too. Before too long, we had a large amount of people playing and talking about games. It was awesome. 10 out of 10. Okay, the learning. That's why we did this. It wasn't just an excuse to hang out, play games, and drink beer, right?
I want that.
You will win this!
And a beer?
And a beer!
It can be both. I did get a lot of feedback from players though. A lot of it was mostly elements people wanted me to add. And I did catch a fun bug where the gun kickback goes the wrong way when firing up, which is kinda hilarious. Turns out the machine gun is super OP at the moment. I'm probably gonna knock the damage down on each bullet just to see how it feels. I was asked about the hearts being very generous. They give the player back half their health, and it makes it hard to kill people before the timer is up. And this is true, but it's also by design. I like this question because it gave me a better way to talk about what I want from the game. Every game needs an overarching design goal. Usually when things fall apart, it's because you strayed too far from it. I decided pretty early on that this game was going to be my showpiece. The game I pull out to demo when showing people what I do. It's perfect for a setting like this. It allows players to spectate and quickly understand what's going on, and the short round timer makes someone much more likely to give it a try. I watched several people be hesitant to try the game out, but eventually did and ended up playing many rounds. With a 30-second round, it's really easy to play just one more, and one more after that, and maybe one more. I'm not trying to do any psychology trickery, just keeping the barrier at entry extremely low. And one thing I've observed, if the match has an exciting end, the players are much more likely to jump right back into another game. Which brings me back to giving the players a lot of healing. The spikes make for an exciting end. The tension goes up when the warning flashers start, health ups don't do anything when the spikes are insta-death, thus making the end of the match more exciting. Limiting health ups would be better for more skilled players, but there's kind of an "aw" feeling when the round ends before the spikes arrive. The spikes were so popular, I had several people suggest the spikes should come from random directions, not just top and bottom or side to side, which I'm considering. But with all this talk about the spikes being exciting, and wanting at least 2 players to make it to them, I need to not lose focus on the 30 seconds before they show up. That also still needs to be engaging and enjoyable. With all that said, the first demo of the Monkeys with Guns beta build was a huge success. It definitely gave me a lot to think about and more to talk about in future devlogs. I don't have a public build ready just yet, but it should be here in the near future. I'm hoping to have one of these devlogs out every Monday as best I can manage. So to see more, please consider subscribing. If you want to chat or ask a question, leave a comment down below or hit me up on Twitter. Play the alpha version or any of my other games at vimlark.itch.io. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Later. That's going in the devlog.
Zero.